Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome in our Azure Communication Service video. In this video, we will be going to talk about what is Azure Communication Service is and how we can use that communication service into our Azure environment. Well, here is the agenda of our this video. So we're going to have a basic understanding of the communication service, what are the communication format we have, what are the scenarios, what are the use cases, what are the other communication services we can get with the Azure Communication Service, and at the end I would be going to show you a demo how you can create the communication service and then how you can get rest of the things under the Azure Communication Service, right? So let's quickly jump into the introduction. So Azure Communications are cloud-based service with REST API and the client library SDKs available to help you to integrate the communication into your application, right? You can add communication to your application without being an expert into underlying technology such as the media encoding, telephone, right? Azure Communication is available into multiple Azure geographic locations and the for Azure Comet. So now if you can see into the diagram, the Azure Communication Service is basically providing us the multiple things. It's providing us the text-based chat, it's providing us the text-based communications. It can be have integrated with the multiple service like the cognitive services, right? And then the web app can be integrated with the Azure Communication Service using the REST APIs. Now, what are the communication format we have? So we have a four communication formats with the Azure Communication Service. We have a voice and video calling, we have a rich text chat, we have the SMS, and we have the email communications, right? And you can connect custom client apps, custom services that and the publicly switched telephone network to your communication experience. You can acquire numbers directly through the Azure Communication Service, REST APIs, SDK, or for the Azure portal and use those number for SMS, calling, applications, or you can simply integrate email capabilities to your application using the production ready email SDKs. Azure Communications Direct Routing allow you to use ISP and the session broader controller to connect your own PSTN carriers and bring your own numbers also. So these are the things which is already there with the Azure Communication. So it's not providing us the services from Azure, but we do have our capabilities to extend our existing communications, existing SIPs communications, numbers, informations directly into the Azure Communications also. What are the scenarios? So we do have a two type of scenarios where we can use for B2B, B2C and C2C. So we can use for business to consumer communications where we can have the SMS based communication, we can have the IVR based communications, we can have a integration with the team that can be used to connect with the consumer from the team meeting hosted by the employees. Second scenario we have is for consumer to consumer, right? Built engaging customer to customer interactions with voice, video, and the rich text chat. Any type of user interface can be built on Azure Communication Service SDKs or use the complete application samples and an open source UI toolkit to help you to get started quickly. So we do have a two kind of scenarios which we can use. What are the use case? So we have a very much use case with the Azure Communication Service. So meeting between the people outside the organizations, business, enterprise, team native users, right? Contact center, auto attendance scenario with teams, right? Uh, Interrupts between teams and the specialized device like uh, real realware augmented reality headset using the ACS to add the video calling capability to connect to the meta expert using the team clients. And then we do have some of the capabilities with external user or the application can have a completely custom experience like integrated into the customer apps like for the online booking apps. Support for mobile and desktop web browsers. No additional team licenses are required for the external users. Team tenant policies configuration can be applied to the scenario into your app without extra charges, right? For the team users or the business user, the benefits are use the usual team desktop and mobile apps. Team user do not lose the context by switching between apps from the customer engagement and their internal communications. Team is a single source for a chat, messages, and the call history within the organizations. Team policies control communication across the application. So these are the use case which will be there with the Azure Communication Service. Now, what are the common scenarios we have? So the common scenario is like we can create the communication service, we can get the numbers, we can get the SMS, or we can send the SMS from application, we can receive the or send the emails from the from the application. And then further we can create the first user to access the token. We can start with the videos and audio calling. We can add the telephonic calling to you to the application. We can join calling app to our team meetings, right? Getting started with the chat, connect a Microsoft bot to a phone number, add visual communication experience. Those kind of things we can add into the Azure Communication Service. Other communication service, so we do have other communication service like Microsoft Graph Cloud API that allow organization to build the communication experience tied to Azure Active Directory users with M365 license. This is the ideal for application tied to the Azure Active Directory or where you want to extend productivity experience into the Microsoft team. And then we have a other communication service called Azure Play Fab Party, are simply adding the low latency chat and the data communication into the games, while you can power gaming chat and the network system with the communication service. PlayFab is tailored options and free on Xbox. So these are the other communication service we do have for other services like Microsoft Teams and for the Xbox. Now let's quickly jump into the demo, right? So to create the communication service, what exactly we need to do? We need to search for communication service from top. We can search for communication service, and then from here we can go ahead and create a new one, right? I have already created a one communication service already, which is a global, right? To create a new one, you just need to click on create. You need to provide the resource scope, you need to provide the name, and then you need to provide the location where the metadata is going to be stored. Then you can specify the tag, and then you can click on review and click, right? Once your communication service is created, this is how this communication service is going to be look like. You do have a plenty of options. You can add the chat option, you can add the telephone and SMS to the app, you can add the video and voice calling to the app, and then you can connect your email domain also, right? uh, so to adding the chat and adding the video calling, it's a very the different process which you need to add into the communication, and that's something you can add it, like you can add the chat topics, you can add the endpoints, chat endpoints kind of thing you can add, right? And then you do have option to add the phone numbers, you do have option to add the shortcuts, those kind of things you can add into the Azure Communication Service. You can have a direct routing also, and then you can have your domain connected with this, right? You just need to click on the connect domain. You just need to specify a few things like what is the subscription, what is the email service. You can click on add, and then you can add the email services here as well, and then you can directly integrate those email domain into the Azure Communication Service, right? As of now, my subscription is not eligible for doing the telephone, SMS, video, voice call kind of scenario because it's a free subscription. But when you're creating it into the production, you do have a capabilities of doing with the Azure Communication Service. Well, that's it into the demo. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming videos, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.